It's the time we've all been waiting for. It is your Scottish Premiership 2023-24 predictions, right? Of course, we're going to do 12 to 1. That's the way it's normally done. And then we're going to do Rangers Cup predictions and Champions League. Yes, that can technically be a different video, but I don't want to do a different video on that. I just want to do the one video, if that's alright. So, without further ado, I don't want to hang about. I want to get stuck in. All I'm going to say is Rangers need to win this title, and I've predicted them. Are they going to do that? Or is it going to be somebody else? Is it going to be Celtic? Is it going to be St Mirren? Is it going to be Dundee? We'll have to find out and wait. But beside each thing, each team, I've written a wee bullet point. This sheet of paper will get locked in the safe, and we won't be reading it until May next year. And hopefully, it's according to plan. Last year, I got 0 out of 12 correct. I mean, obviously, I only care about one. One. But at the end of the day, that is what it is, and I got a few of them wrong. But anyway, guys, until then, till this sheet of paper gets reopened, let's get stuck into it. 12th place, I've went with St Johnstone, right? They've had an awful pre-season, knocked out the cup, pumped 4-0 by Stirling, beat by Stenhousemuir. They're just not very good, right? They are a shite team with a manager that's probably even worse than the team. They just, all their players, man, are pish. I don't really rate St Johnstone. And they really did not do anything after their cup double. They sold a lot of players and did not bring anyone in impressive. And now it's been like 2 seasons of just scraping past. So for me, they're going down. And I honestly can't see anyone other than St Johnstone finishing last. As of right now, I mean, things can change. We are at like the first day of August at the end of the day. But for me, I can't see anything other than St Johnstone going down. That brings us into 11th place. We have got Dundee. I've written beside Dundee, interesting signings. They have made a few interesting signings. Now, for most people, Dundee, as soon as they come up, will go straight back down. For me, they could still very easily do that. They could finish 11th and get pumped in the playoff against Airdrie potentially, because I think Airdrie are going up. Airdrie are on fire at the minute. But for Dundee, they've signed a few Mexicans, which, you know, I'm actually intrigued about that because they've went further afield than what teams would normally do. And if those guys hit the ground running, you never know with them. They're just a bit of a nothing team. They could very easily finish bottom and get like 9 points. Or they could very easily finish like 9th and you wouldn't really bat an eyelid, would you? So that's what I'm going for there. But they've made interesting signings nonetheless. 10th place, I've went with Ross County. And my bullet point is, not as pish as the two beneath them. They're just a wee bit better. Malky Mackay got them over the line last season, albeit, yes, they did leave it very late against Partick Thistle in the playoffs. But end of the day, I just think they'll have enough to stay up. They're not particularly good, but as I said, they're better than the two beneath them. In the 9th place, we've went with Kilmarnock, and I said they're too consistent to go down. I think Kilmarnock will be alright. I feel like they will make more of better away form this season, because let's be real, it was only their home form keeping them in the league this season. They've got to have better away form. It can't just be when you come to our plastic pitch, that's going to be our... No, they need to sort that out. They really do. Or else it could be curtains for them. But for me, they're finishing 9th. Alright? They're finishing 9th. I've no real issues with them. Kelly, apart from their pitch is pish. They got the job at the coefficient like 4 years ago when they lost to Con and Quay Nomads, which obviously ain't very good, but is at the end of the day. 8th place, we have got Livingston. Right beside it, good start, pish end. That is all Livingston do. They kick off strong, in the end, shite. Now, to be fair, maybe this could be the season where Davy Martindale gets sacked early on or something, or they have a bad start, and they could go down, because I think Livingston are just the sort of club where if they go down, they will not be seen again. The finances in that team are non-existent. Their fans are non-existent. I mean, Albion Rovers bring more fans to their games than fucking Livingston. I mean, what's that about? That's embarrassing. And I would have no love lost if Livingston went down, especially with their plastic pitch. And to wrap out the bottom 6, I have went with Motherwell. And what I've said here is they're missing Fanfine. Now, if they kept Fanfine and they kept their form going, that they kept going towards like the back end of last season, could very easily been a top 6 contender. But you know, Fanfine, with the amount of goals that he scored, that's irreplaceable. As Beyonce said, you're irreplaceable. No, you're replaceable. No, you're not irreplaceable. It doesn't really matter what Beyonce said. All matters what I say. And fucking Fanfine is going to be missing big time because he's not there playing for Grenadine. So Motherwell are going to finish 7th for me. They will not be in any danger for that. Moving into the top 6 though, I've went with Hibernian to finish sixth. Of course, just get pumped in the Europa League, Europa Conference League by Inter de Escalades or whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, they could still very easily go through in that tie. They're not exactly spectacular, Hibs, but, you know, they still should be beating an Andorran team. And I just feel like with Lee Johnston, they could crumble. They really could crumble. Am I predicting them to crumble? Yes, because it's Hibs. They will go through a period of the season that just makes them fall so far behind the teams ahead of them that sixth is realistically the best they can do. Moving in to the next team, fifth place, we have got the mighty St Mirren. What I've put beside them is that it will be a solid upgrade. Of course, they finished sixth last season, but I feel like this season they will improve just a wee bit. It will be a solid wee upgrade on sixth place, and they will get themselves not guaranteed, but they will get themselves some European football of some degree here. So, on the St Mirren, decent wee result for them to finish fifth, and I feel like they will build on last season. I don't think they'll fall into the bottom six, but hey, this is just me giving my predictions. They could very easily fall into the bottom six if they really wanted to. And now we're getting to where it really matters, guys, the top four. Well, I mean, what really matters is the top two for me, not really what's beneath it. But anyway, fourth place, I've went with the Jambos. They're going to stay in the same position they finished last season, and I've ripped. Why? The Three Stooges, the three managers. They've Naismith and the fucking Chuckle Brothers, even though he's part of it. What is going on at Hearts? Like, three people as manager, and they haven't really signed anybody of note. It's like the stalest transfer window ever at Hearts. Honestly, it's pish. That's all I've got to say about Hearts. I have nothing. I mean, they could very easily finish in the bottom six for me, right? But I feel like with Shankland and other players like that, it will just be enough to get them over the line. But I wouldn't rule out Hearts finishing pretty low down, but we'll see how it goes. And into the top three, I've went with Aberdeen. I've ripped beside it. They've got the third best squad. Yeah, they lost McCrory. They could lose like Ramadani, but they've brought in a lot of players. They've brought in a lot of talent for a lot of money as well. So for me, they've now got the third best squad. I think for a few seasons there, Hearts quite easily had the third best squad in Scotland, but now I think they've just fell behind. They've not really improved on it, not really impressed on it, made dents going forward. Hearts, I mean, last season was a joke. They should have been finishing third, but now Aberdeen have strengthened completely. And Aberdeen, with European football, that's what a team needs to do. I've said it before. For any team to catch the Old Firm, they need to be finishing in that third spot that guarantees group stage football, and with that you get all the millions, and therefore you can improve your squad. That's the only way a team's ever going to get close. See this, Aberdeen finishing ninth one year, or Hibs finishing eighth, and then they're back in Europe, in and out without that money. They need that money. Teams need that money. You need consistency. And then that brings us to our top two. Our top two, of course, that we want to talk about here. And in second place, drum roll please, we've got Shallick. And I've ripped beside it, not the best window. They've lost Jota, they've lost Ange. Alright, they've brought in Rodgers, which I think is pretty much, it'll be interesting to see what Rodgers can do with Celtic. Will it be better than Ange? Will it be worse? I think the jury's still out in that. Their signings for Celtic, there's not exactly a lot in there that's like, star signings, but you could argue with the Celtic team, they don't really need to make a lot of star signings. It's more if they don't lose any of their star players. I mean, the window, we've still got a month to go, they still could lose players. But for me, there's times in the past, like the Joey Barton, when he came in, there's times where I've sat here and predicted Rangers to win the league, and deep down, you felt like, nah, they're not going to win the league, but you just have to go with it anyway. But I genuinely feel like with Rangers, even though pre-season's been shite, I'll be the first to admit it, and we need defenders, I think if we get that forward line clicking, Dessers, Danilo, Lammers, I think it could be unstoppable. And it could be a case of, well, it doesn't matter if you concede 3 at the back because we're going to score 6. Even though I would rather keep clean sheets and win 5-0 than win 6-3. I think it could just be as simple as that. I think we could be that good going forward. It doesn't matter defensively. I know Fergie once said, and I'm not talking about Fergie Black Eyed Peas, I'm talking about Fergie, Sir Alex Fergie. I'm talking about the time when, his quote, attack wins you games, defence wins you titles. I agree with that to a degree, but let's see how good the attack can be. I think we do need to bring in signings, and if we do not bring in defenders, I think that will be the difference maker. I think if we bring in 1 or 2, preferably 2, hopefully 3 good defenders here before this window ends, and we get rid of a few players, then maybe that will be enough to push Rangers over the line, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes, guys. But yes, of course, Celtic second, Rangers first. Rangers going to win title 56. I have all the confidence in the world in Michael Beale, but let's see it, man. We need to see it come to fruition. Come on, Michael Beale, deliver us title 56. So that's my Scottish Premiership predictions done. And now we're going to go into Rangers predictions, where I'm going to talk about the Cups and the Champions League and all sorts. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Rangers, I'm predicting us to go at the UEFA Champions League playoff round. Yeah, is what it is. I think we'll go at it. That's not. I think this team's going to take time to gel. I can see us getting past Ghent or Servette, but whoever awaits Marseille or whoever else it would be in that playoff round, I think they'll beat us. Sadly for us, but I think we will get to the Europa League quarter-final. So a decent wee run in Europe. Moving on to the League Cup. I went for us to win the Fireplay League Cup, because why not? Why the hell not, man? We've got an easy enough run in the last 16 against Greenock Morton. Some other teams have got hard draws, so hopefully that can help us. And then for the Scottish Cup, sadly, I've put us to go out in the semi-final. Now, realistically, yeah, we could fucking win every cup or something, or win no cups, but I thought I'd just add in those wee spicy predictions in at the end, guys. But anyway, that's it for this video. I'll be back very soon. That's my predictions. So, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Rangers will win the league? Most people on this channel will think that, but what do you think about the rest of the league? Leave it down below. But until next time, leave your thoughts down below, and peace.